episode 204 of Live with Lil. Oh my God, the best guest this week. I mean, I say that every week, but it really is this week. We have Samantha Win, who stunt doubled Agent May in this episode and a bunch of other episodes, and is also now doing very exciting acting projects. Mm-hmm. Not that stunts isn't acting, but it's different, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Nice. Yeah, it's really different. Acting's far easier. And then we also have MAYA STOJAN-CLEVER, who played Kara, aka Agent 33. You just said your stunt double in this was also called Kara.
Not Kara, Tara.
Oh, Tara. Okay, good. Because when you said that, I was like, oh my God, I thought she was called Kara. Okay.
No, I know. It was a little confusing. And it was Kara, Kara, Tara, Tara. I'm not even certain, but it was very confusing for all involved.
It's very professional for your stunt double to have a similar-esque name, you know?
Absolutely.
Or like Ming and Ming.
Ming and Ming.
Oh, they had the same name.
The same name. Wow. Yeah, God, was that confusing. And just obviously looked so similar because they were doubling each other. Ming was Ming-Na Wen's other stunt double. So that's what that is, just in case people didn't know.
There was a small period when she had her baby where I stepped in. So this episode was part of that period.
Yes, and it's such a great episode. That fight is forever in the history of best stunt moments ever on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Certainly most fun one to film. I wasn't there for the rest of the seasons, but I can say even of the rest of the seasons, it had to have been the most fun.
Oh my God, yes. And just we'd never done anything like it before.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Let's start the episode because
we do have a lot of people saying congratulations to MAYA on getting married. It's all up in the chat right now.
So nice. Thank you.
Congratulations. You do have that glow that
that's probably I have a good light situation.
Yeah, thank God 2020. I feel like it gave us good ring lights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a necessity.
Yeah, had to.
So it's a necessity. Seriously, God. Okay, so I watch it on Netflix, and I am at the Marvel flip. Oh, although I was.
When you say the Marvel flip,
yeah,
it's in like the very, very beginning, yeah.
Yeah, so I've skipped the recap, and then it gets to like the.
Okay,
skip the recap.
Yeah, skip the. Oh, I'd already done it. Okay. Let me know when you're there.
About to fly into Miami.
Okay. Yes, I'm there.
Ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh my God! Look at that. We're off.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one thing, like, this series is a lot about, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this live, is a lot about kind of introducing people to the different ways to work in the industry and how people got there and kind of sharing a little bit of journeys in a way. So I just wonder if maybe we start with you, MAYA. Could you talk about how you get to be on a show like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and doing a character like this?
Wow. I mean, it really felt like a miracle because it sort of came out of nowhere. I had done a couple things at that point, and I was on a show called Castle, also on ABC.
Great show.
Yeah, great show.
So that was going on, but honestly, it just kind of came out of nowhere. And as you know, it's super secret the way you audition for Marvel. They don't really give you the character name. They don't give you anything further than just, fake sides. And, I remember the audition I had had nothing to do with my character.
Did it not?
No.
So so it wasn't anything from, you didn't get to a scene and you were like, oh, this
and did you go in? Did you put it on tape? Like, how did that go?
Yes, I went into the casting office. I remember them being so incredibly nice. Oh my God.
That's
They were
so nice in
wonderful.
there.
They
Sarah
made-
Finn, I think, right?
Yeah,
Perhaps
Sarah Finn,
like
yeah.
Tamara even was there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just end up getting sides from like another show of a secret agent and you're like, well, I guess it's something like that?
Yeah.
I don't even know where it was from. But it was like almost a romantic scene. So maybe it kind of gave them an idea of if I could be, because Brett Dalton Ward and I do have this romantic, but that was kind of a smaller aspect of Agent 33. But anyway, so the audition was more kind of flirty and, but it was awesome. And I remember working extremely hard for it because I just thought, well, I'm going to give it my all, but I didn't hear back for the longest time, I remember. So I had completely forgotten about it. And then someone else picked up my phone. I remember a friend of mine picked up my phone because I was in a different room. And they were like, oh my gosh, it's your agent. I think you booked something. And I was like, no, it's not possible. Like, I haven't been auditioning. Like, it's probably, and then I thought I was having a heart attack because the feeling of, like,
it's so nice, that feeling when you're like, oh my God, because every person, and I don't know how this works in stunts, Samantha, and I know you do like maybe less stunts now and more acting, but is it a similar way of like, because every actor you see on screen, 9 out of the 10 jobs they don't book, no matter the name, so if you're lucky, yeah, if you're lucky you'll get 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Is it similar in stunts, or is it more, how does that work?
It's a different process because it's not a casting process. There are times where the casting director will be responsible for and cast a specific stunt person for a stunt acting part, but it is more referral based. So a friend or colleague might refer you to a coordinator, and then they'll just call you and ask for your availability. It is not at all like acting, because I am very much experiencing that now. I haven't taken any stunt jobs for like the last 5 or 6 years now. So it has just been, the auditioning and then the not getting it 19 times out of 20 or whatever it is. So I'm very much with you in that boat. And it's, there's nothing else like it.
God, what a transition to go from it all, because in some ways acting is kind of, it can be a bit friends based and who you know to a certain extent, but then on something like Agents of Shield, I don't know, it's mostly auditioning, and it doesn't necessarily matter who you know if you're not right, and it's not personal, it can just be nothing to do with you for the reason you didn't get it. And okay, sorry, Maya, I interrupted you. So you go in for the audition, you go in the room, and then you get the call, like a few weeks later?
Yeah, and I can't remember if I may have had a call back, but maybe not. Maybe it was just a one-time, I have a feeling it was just a one-time audition.
Sort of, yeah.
And yeah, it was probably like 10 days later, because I mean, it varies, right? Like, but most of the time on TV, it happens quickly.
Yeah.
So like you'll hear back within 3 days.
Yeah.
And so this was just sort of, I had completely forgotten about it. I was like, well, obviously,
Was your friend that answered the phone also an actor or a non-actor?
Yeah.
They were. Oh, yeah. I was going to say if they weren't, they got to experience that kind of phone call for the first time.
It's actually a crazy story, but I don't need to get into it. But I at the time was working at a casting workshop company. So we were basically helping actors meet different casting directors. So I was at one of those, and I was helping out basically. And so everyone, like even the casting director that day, I can't remember who she was, but everyone celebrated with me.
Oh,
that's so awesome.
An incredible feeling. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
What a great, I just got all goosebumps.
It's just like the hold on, we're getting like the whole team on the like that whole thing. You're like, oh my God, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
But so also I was auditioning for, it was a guest star. It was a 1 episode.
Wow.
And Yeah, it was just a one episode. And same thing happened for Castle. Castle, it was one episode and it ended up being 26 or something like that. And then Agents of Shield, same thing. It was supposed to be one episode, but it ended up being, I don't know, how many did I, 8 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I had 10 in my head, but like a lot.
Yeah, like maybe it was 10. Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, that's so nice.
With person. And when people, they're like, we just need Maya around more. So let's make it happen.
Yes. And that's what's lovely about when you finally get that yes. And you're allowed, you know, you earn your spot then on set, and you can, then that's when the real job starts, you know, then you can show what you can actually do. Auditions are so weird in that it's not really the job. Like, it's so different to being on set.
It is. It's a weird mix of when you're in the auditioning room, it's actually not a full picture reflection of what your work will actually be anyways, because it's a different kind of nerves and a different kind of setting that it's a whole other skill set in and of itself. So someone could, you know, not feel great at auditioning, but crush it when they're on set, or vice versa.
Yeah, totally. How was your journey to Agents of Shield, Samantha? Because I feel like I didn't get to hang out with you that much on set because, well, Simmons didn't really do any cool stunts, really. But how did you say it's a lot of kind of who you know and the network that you kind of build up around you. How did you start, and then how did you get to Agents of Shield?
So starting, I guess, I was an athlete first. So I was competitive in martial arts. And then from there, one of the ways that stunt coordinators bring in new stunt people is by looking at all the different sports, who's at the top of those sports, and can we bring them into movies? Like, will they be able to learn things like fight choreography? So I started as an athlete and started slowly working as stunts when I was 17. It was my first doubling jobs. But then getting onto Agents of Shield specifically, it's funny in the world of stunt doubles, because it's based on how you look and how tall you are and what your skill set is, you end up getting to know all of the other women that are like the similar height, similar skill set. So it was through one of my similar friends that when her name is Ming Chu, and she primarily, I think, doubles Ming Na Wen. She was on a maternity leave and needed someone that could fill in for her while she was going to be away for a year and a half or so. And so she put my name in for it. I sent my headshot, and then it just kind of goes from there. So really your word and your reel speak the most for you, not necessarily like an audition, but your stunt reel, they will hire you based off of that.
What was your first gig? Like, what was that like, walking onto set and doing stunts the first time? And what did they have you do?
Actually, my first day was kind of crazy because I was on a wire and I had a ratchet. So it's a machine that uses air pressure to blast you really fast, really far.
On your first day?
Not on show, but like in general, like your first time was getting on a wire and
ratchet through fire, hit a car, chip off the car, and land on the ground. It was such a, like, even now that would be something where like you don't look, it's complicated and tricky and painful, but it was my first day on a big set and I was 17, and my dad was there with me because I was underage, so he had to be there. So he's just watching his daughter, get whipped through the air through fire and hitting a car. Yeah.
And did you love it straight away? Were you like, yes, this is awesome? Or
maybe not in the moment, but no, it actually is a weird sense of adrenaline. So I very much still love taking action roles because that kind of adrenaline is a whole other treat that not all actors, I think, get to experience depending on which genre of work you usually work in. So it was something I always knew I wanted to do acting, and knowing that I lived in a small town in Canada where not a lot of people moved away, it was an opportunity, and it was in the film industry, which I was so far away from it where I was. It felt like, oh my God, this is a huge step forward. So even though I don't know that it was like the stunt part necessarily that I loved, but the environment, the people, learning, being on set, getting to know everyone's jobs coming from a different perspective too. Because as stunts, you're kind of like, you're on camera, but you're kind of crew as well. So it's a really valuable perspective that I feel like I gained.
Oh my God, totally. And now, like you say, you just have these huge action roles. Like we were just talking about Army of the Dead coming out on the 21st of May. I have it already queued on my Netflix. I feel like I'm like everything is in my diary. I've got my alert set. It just looks like such a cool movie. But presumably you having stunt a background was a huge bonus, right, on a movie like that. And Zack Snyder seems to love you also.
Well, I love him and his whole family a lot, probably to a weird amount. So I think they all know that. But yeah, it's always very, I mean, especially for action genre things, having a stunt background, it's just like one less thing to worry about. You kind of already have an awareness of the camera and angles and what sells and what doesn't. So you can be more, or at least I could focus more on the work side of things. So for me, it was helpful because, you know, it's Dave Bautista and Hiroyuki Sanada and all these actors I respect so much. Yeah. So I had enough nerves to worry about. I thankful to not think about the action part.
It's really interesting how you both, and I didn't realize with you, Maya, of like how you both came at acting from different, you know, like kind of wiggly paths to start with. Like you helped with casting workshops and worked on casting side, and then also acted, and then booked the job. And it just is, there's no one way into it, I feel like. Would you recommend, Maya, people doing kind of casting workshops and casting?
You know, there's a big controversy with it. And I think once I was already out of it, out of helping with workshops, a lot of people went against it, saying that basically actors, they felt like actors were being forced to pay for auditions, which had nothing to do with it. It was really just about networking and about seeing what casting wanted. And for me, it helped immensely. Like I know that that's the way I got to do what I love, and it's the reason why I'm here today and working. But I know that, you know, they're not that available anymore. But if there are still some that are open, I would strongly recommend them. And I think, you know, in any career, you have to put forth, you know, you're your own business. So you have to put forth money anyway into any career you go into, whether it's acting class or anything like that. So why not do it in a way where you can actually meet people that are in the industry that can move you forward in your path.
Yeah. And the community I think you get from, I have never been to a casting workshop like what like that sounds, but certainly acting classes, coaching, just to get that network around you of, you know, like Samantha, I'm sure you walked onto some sets and you were like, I'm not going to know anyone. And just knowing someone in the stunt department, maybe it just gives you a different sense of, okay, I know a person, belonging. And this is, it's a fun industry, but it's not always easy. And so just to have someone that you can call, or someone you can celebrate with, that understands like the magnitude of that call you got, Maya, while you were at that workshop, to just be like, oh yeah, this does happen, people book stuff.
Especially for the amount of people in LA that are from other places. I feel like there's an overabundance of young people here that have no network, no group of friends, no group of people that they can help self-tape with or just talk to about all the struggles. And because it's a lot of rejection and it's a whole emotional journey what we do. So it's nice to have people.
Yeah, totally. Maya, I just got a flashback to, I think it was in last week's episode, where you had the things, like the clip.
Yeah, the torture.
Yeah. And you had to be looking at that screen. I just wanted to ask you before the big fight scene comes up, that looked like genuine torture because that wasn't CGI, was it?
No, it genuinely was torture, and it was such an experience because I don't know. You can do this for I don't know however long, but try doing it for a minute or however long they were shooting. It was intense, and they
eye drops at all?
Yeah, there were eye drops and they were incredible. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone on set was so cautious of me and so caring and loving and everyone was there for me. But and of course you never want to complain, right? Everything's great, all is good. But I just my eyes just being dead after because they literally stuck my eyes open and it was hilarious. We still because RJ, my makeup artist, he and I just messaged today, and he sent me a bunch of photos, and he was just like, "Do you remember this day?" I was like, "How could I forget?"
Oh my God, you should send them to me. I'll show them on this thing. I can share a screen if you wanted to. That's
sure.
You were also
imagine people walking by like, "I'm so sorry," and you're like,
"Yeah." Was that one of your first days?
Sorry?
Was that one of your first days?
That was my first day on set.
Oh my God.
That was my first day. I'm sending it to you via text. So
yes, please. I need to
it's the most unflattering picture, mind you, but you know what?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
No one wants beauty pictures.
We're about to see you in the thing, Maya.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I do have a question for you, Maya. It says,
yes.
when you seduced Ward with Sky's face, did you, Ming and Chloe, did you have to film that in a specific order for layering, or do you know when you how they approached that?
It's interesting because both Chloe and Mingna I remember them watching my mannerism and vice versa, because all three of us were each other at one point. So we all kind of had to watch each other's mannerisms and behaviors. And I don't know if that's answering your question, but sort of. I don't remember what order they did everything, but it was interesting. There were so many layers of not being myself as Kara, being myself as Sky or Mingna. Yeah.
This is so cool here too. It's part of that. I feel like with the mask going on and you in that dress, which I feel like you all with this silver dress. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. That's
this is where it is now.
Oh, that was okay.
At the auction.
Yes, but yes, she's appropriate.
Yeah. Did you all get so cut up by this dress? Because it was tiny sequins, right? And I feel like it's the worst thing to maybe fight in.
Surprisingly, I didn't have many cuts because it was long sleeves. It was also protecting where it would typically cut, as far as I can remember. But I guess those wounds healed a long time ago. So
yeah,
I don't know if they did.
You'd never do another stunt job.
I love she was like pulled through a fire into a car. She's like, but that dress, I tell you.
I do remember.
That was it.
I remember being checking out my body though, and she's like, "You're a little pale. Let's get a spray tan in here." And so I did have to stay after work one day to go to Ming's trailer, and we both spray tan together, so we're the same color in the lingerie.
Oh my God, I love it. She's been in this business a long time, but she's like, no, I want this to look exactly like me.
Yep. Yeah. And then when it came to a close up on the feet, she's like, "We're using your toes," and I was like, "Yeah." So I got a pedicure.
Yeah. Oh God. I feel like that's what I would just love a double for every scene ever, especially feet close up, definitely.
Yeah, no one wants it.
For a fight like this one with the Ming v Ming, Samantha, because I keep forgetting, Maya, that you weren't actually in that scene because it's you under the Ming mask.
I remember being there and watching it and being so amazed and impressed. I mean, it was it was watching it live was unreal. But carry on. Sorry.
Mind blowing. Yeah, I bet.
You're like, wow, I'm a badass.
Yeah, look at me
Look
go.
at me go. That's amazing.
Look at my toes.
Yeah.
No, it was so fun. I think the most memorable fun part about it was more of a behind the scenes fact, which was because Ming Na and myself were switching our costumes so frequently from the lingerie set to the dress, and we each had our own. We weren't like trading our clothes literally, but there were just so many changes back and forth that we used one of the faux elevators where you like have to pull the doors closed. And we just claimed it as a dressing room. And so we'd like run in there to go change and just close the doors and then back out and we're right on set again.
Oh
So
my
that was the
God.
most. And then all of Ming's jokes and innuendos that she loves to make while we're fighting and on top of each other and rubbing up against each other. Made for a fun day of work.
Yeah, that feels like me. Yeah.
Minuendos.
Minuendos.
Oh,
Wait, so Samantha, you did both sides of the fight. I just assumed that there were like two Ming
No.
doubles.
because there were so many different kinds of like acrobatic movements and things, the fight was kind of just tailored to who does what moves that looks best from what angles kind of thing. And because Ming and I had worked closely on so many fights together in the past and we trained together for that one, we ended up doing a lot of it just back and forth with us because it was easier for her to shoot when she just knows my body language very well. But yeah, it was between Ming Na and myself and we learned both sides. So yeah, we were switching and she learned both sides of the choreography as well. And then that's when Tara Mackin would come in and she had face replacement on for some of the silver dress parts.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
It was a whole deal between the three of us, just back and forth, doing different sides of the fights, remembering what you're dressed in to think about what side of the choreography you'd be performing.
And how long did you have to memorize it?
I don't remember. I want to say, well, I know Tara's fantastic. So I think between the two of us, we learned it very quickly. And then with Ming, I think we did have a bit of time, at least 3 to 5 days or something ahead of time so that we could train it because it was so important that we know both sides.
Yeah.
And it's such a long fight that we wanted it to be safe and everyone to feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah. So as the stunt double, you get kind of used to hiding your face, I'm guessing, right? Like have the hair over your face and stuff. But then when you just said about Tara having the face replacement dots on her face, so does that mean then that she can show her face and that they CGI'd Ming's face on her? How did that work?
I don't remember if it was just for this one shot, but there was one where Ming is pushing herself and you could see both faces. And so for that one, they pushed Tara, she was in the right dress, they put the dots on. And so they had real Ming push her towards camera. And because the face was so visible there and they wanted it to be very visible, they went with face replacement. And then the rest of it, I think for the most part, we just hid our faces. But there was one other time where I think, it was me again. I couldn't even remember because now I've seen the episode so many times. I'm like, which one was that? Where Ming in silver dress, which I think was me for that shot, is pushing real Ming against the wall. And it's our faces side by side. So I think that's the only one where I had the dots on.
Right. God, it's just...
That's so crazy.
And Kevin Tancherone directed this and he's so brilliant at, well, he comes from the dance world as a choreographer, so it's like he with the stunts and the fights, I feel like we didn't have a director quite like him that could do it quite as seamlessly as seemingly easily as Kevin could.
Anything movement, he just understands the angles and the rhythm and the feel to it. It's always,
because it's like a dance, right, that you guys are doing in some huge stunt like that.
Yeah, very much so.
How long did that take to film?
We had 3 days. Oh, I remember this part so clearly. Sorry, I'm also in the episode because there's one part where one Ming front kicks the other in the stomach, but to me it just looks a little low, so it looks like getting kicked in the crotch. There's the feet that I was talking about.
Wait, I'm not at that part.
Oh no.
Maybe I'm behind. Maybe I'm behind.
I feel like I'm off too. I'm
Oh yeah. Oh,
I'm
darn.
with Fitz
Spectrum.
looking at a
Powered.
yeah
something.
with
yes, same.
Okay.
maybe.
I'm.
Which bit are you at? Because I want to know what that crotch hit was.
There's like I don't think the crotch hit has come up yet for me. It will, but when Ming was tied in the chair and then she picks it up and smashes it, there's like a bunch of close-ups on the feet, and that's my little
Oh,
Okay.
that
I'm
was
with you.
you.
and then lift and smash the chair. That was
Oh
fun.
my god. Yes. Oh, so you did the chair smash?
Mhm.
Oh, yep, I'm there now.
All right, I'm gonna pause for a little.
Wait, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm still in the corridor.
must
This
be
is what I
here in a
mean.
second.
Every week I do it a bit incorrectly.
Oh no.
Maya, you had a fight when a bit ago when May discovered you in the hotel room.
Yes.
Did
yes.
that? Do you remember how? Oh my god!
I
and you
had
just
a couple fights that I had to choreograph, and I remember
yes, we're there now. With
waiting at the gym for it. I had never done that. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So yeah, I remember training, and it's like a dance choreography.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we're at the chair bit now.
Oh, you are. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a
Oh
bit.
yeah.
A bit ahead.
Boy, that's
With
so.
Simon, yeah.
I never tire of like cuts and it not being the actor, and then the actor runs out and it looks like it's there, but it's
Yeah.
just still so
It's
cool,
amazing.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think that whole chair thing was me too, because you don't see the face.
No, you
or
don't
anything.
see the
You don't
face.
realize unless you're really looking for it.
Yeah.
Did they like alter the chair so it would be easy to smash, or was that you just smashing a real life chair?
Oh no, 100%. I could have bumped into it and it would have broken, because
Oh, okay, for you.
they should know not to rely on my strength.
Well, there's nothing worse than it being all set up and then it doesn't break.
But there was this one episode. I think you had David Crabtree on, actually. He told me that you guys talked about it, where I was going through this wall, this piece of Ming was talking about it. I was going through this piece of drywall in the fight against Brett. And so the double is holding me by my hair and throwing me through a wall, and the wall wasn't breaking. It's like 3 or 4 times where I just kept hitting the wall and then landing on the ground like,
Oh my gosh. But were you on a wire at that point, or that was just real? You just fell to the ground. Someone threw you and you fell. Oh my god.
yeah, it's okay. I grew up with brothers. It really.
Yeah. I feel like now I'm just gonna think of, well, I mean, Samantha was on a wire at 17 through fire and hit a car. So
So what's this?
here's this
It
big
is.
scene now. Are you
Amazing.
guys at the May v May scene
Yes.
now?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And it's just so long. Oh yeah, I see it with the 2 faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you watch this, Samantha, and go, oh, that's me, that's my, or it gets jumbled up because you did so many parts?
I think mostly because I know my body so well, I can tell like what my shoulders or my arms are versus Ming's. And also I remember it so vividly because it was so much fun to shoot. It was like this swanky apartment, and it was a carpet floor, which for us, that was the absolute ideal world.
Really?
And then it was just so fun with Ming. I remember joking around in each of the setups. So I remember like what my body position was doing.
Did you film at each? Like, I feel like I'm so distracted now because I'm just watching
The scene's
this.
so good,
Oh my
yeah.
god, it's so good. But how do you go about filming that? Is it little kind of portions at a time? Oh my god, I mean, this is just so good.
Yeah, we kind of broke it up into sections. There were 4 sections, and I think we tried to film each section as its own thing, and then we'd each film both sides of each section before moving on to the next section or next piece of choreography. Because I think if we were jumping around between sides and places in the choreography, someone would have got hurt because our brains would have exploded.
Right, yeah. And then it's quite nice maybe to know, like, okay, that's that section done.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to think about those moves anymore. It's this one.
Yeah, that drop kick was really fun to do. It's so rare in life that you're able to drop kick someone and it's appropriate and it's what you're supposed to do. You're not going to get arrested. And Tara was amazing about that. I was trying so hard to like use the ball and toe of my foot to like push, not actually kick, because they feel very different.
And that was you doing that, right? That wasn't, you didn't have wires or?
Yeah, no wires at all for this fight. So not even the table move at the end. It's just yeah, just some acrobatics.
And when you're in the lingerie, there's no place to put elbow pads or knee pads.
Yeah, that's why I was very thankful for the carpet. That it really did. I mean, I had like carpet burn because of it, and I was like, dang it, there's still a catch to it. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really not that bad. It was plush carpet, and it was actually very hot while because we were exerting ourselves so much. So the wardrobe was ideal. Like we preferred to be in the lingerie versus the dress, because we were just sweating like pigs in that dress.
Yeah.
It's just funny because we're sitting on carpet and like my butt's already getting sore. And I'm just thinking you were getting just pummeled on carpet and you're like, gosh, that carpet, thank God for that carpet. I was like, gosh, this is the wrong carpet. We got to get some better carpet because not padded enough.
I think next to that, the Melinda episode, is that still later this season or was that end of last season? Melinda, that was last of second season, I think. The one where it goes into May's backstory.
Oh yeah, no, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is why I'm so thankful for the carpet, because that ground was pressed concrete and I was just flying and hitting it all over the place. And I was
Oh my
I miss that apartment.
Wow, that's nuts. I feel like this is a good time to show your picture, Maya. I'm gonna try and share my screen, because talking about like this kind of looks like the pain that Samantha, you're talking about in a way. So here's it's like a whole headdress of it. So for people listening to the podcast and not watching the YouTube of it, it's I mean, what is that? Like a metal?
Like little spatulas, I would call them. And so my arms were tied up, and then so were my legs into these metal things. And I was forced to watch this crazy scream. So that was fun.
And then how do you
know your hands were tied too, so you couldn't even, like, if someone was blowing on you,
right,
you couldn't even stop them. You're like, stop it, it.
Yeah, exactly. It was just but it was so much fun because there was I love those scenes where no acting is required. You're just there. You're just living it. You're in the present. You're in the moment. There's no
so positive. It just looks so painful and awful. You're like, well, you know what? I didn't have to act like I was being tortured. I just was. So that's great.
I have been tortured so much in my TV career and acting. Like I've had so many burns and scars, and I've been pretty destroyed. So like it's a blessing in a way, because it's just it just really puts you right there. Like, well, this is who I am now.
You're like, an eye contraption. That sounds uncomfortable. Well, I am very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Samantha, can you talk a little bit about the transition from stunts to acting? And like, was that scary? Did you feel like doubtful? How did that manifest?
It's funny because to outside perspectives, it looks like, oh, you just stopped stunts and then you just started working and acting, and it's just that. But it was, yes, very terrifying, and I had so much doubt. And I mean, I feel like I have my feet under me now, but for a long period, and actors know this too, just because you get one thing doesn't mean the next thing is guaranteed. And so it felt like I was starting myself back at zero, because even though stunts helps a lot when it comes to your actual technical ability, you have all this set experience now, you have a greater understanding of how to dance with the crew and the camera. But when it comes to casting directors, it doesn't really sway them with it at all. It doesn't count for anything. And most of the time, well, I don't even put any of my stunt parts on my resume for something like that. It just doesn't mean much. So it really was terrifying to think that I was starting back at zero, because I was working on films like Man of Steel and 300 Rise of an Empire and Agents of Shield. And, you know, it's the best other stunt performers in the world that are working with you, because it's TV's biggest shows and the biggest films that are in theaters. And so I kind of thought, like, there's a chance I might never work with my friends again. Like, I might go, okay, I'm not doing stunts anymore. And then all of the people that I worked with on all these big projects would just be a thing of my past, because what if I never get there again as an actress?
Yeah.
And so it was absolutely terrifying. And I'm just extremely grateful that I was going to so many classes. I was doing theater and I was doing plays, and I was just trying my best to do the actual work. And that's all I can do. Work, make myself available, put it out there, and, you know, have a lot of faith, as we all have to do. Otherwise, otherwise you're not here anymore. It takes a lot of faith.
Yeah.
But,
Totally.
yeah.
And it's just that leap of faith is so impressive, because it's one thing to, you know, like when I came up through acting, I really didn't have anything to lose, you know, like I had a lot of waitressing jobs and a lot of side hustle things, but there was nothing that I was risking, I guess. Whereas you had a very established career as an athlete and as a stunt performer.
Yeah.
And then you go, no, I need to give this other thing all my attention now.
Mhm.
And like, that's got to be hard to turn down jobs and say, no, I'm not that, I'm this now. And
Yeah, it really was, especially when, you know, I'd made it to a point in my stunt career where I was very comfortable. Like, so also my home, like my properties or vehicles, things that weren't a big deal at that time, I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that I don't make myself homeless in the meanwhile.
Yeah, totally. But it's that weird thing, I think a lot of us in the industry have, of just that kind of tunnel vision, in a way of like, yes, obviously you don't want to be homeless, but you might just go for it anyway, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense maybe to other people. This is potentially a big question, Maya, but how have you found that balance between, you know, going for your career and then also being like, should I stick in these casting workshops, and where's my place? You know, how have you navigated that, I guess?
No, and it's so interesting, because as you said, I try to still always be involved in an acting class and take workshops when I can, and always try to work at just being the best actor I can be. And sometimes I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes I know I'm not at my best in my craft, and it's going to take a couple months to just get back to a good place. And then sometimes you're like, wow, I'm on a roll. Like, I really love my auditions. I feel great about it.
Yeah.
So I think just honing in your skill but yeah, I just finding that balance of, you know, we want to do what we love. If we could, we would do it all the time, right? But the reality of it is even on set, there's just this very limited amount of time that we're actually acting and performing. There's so much waiting around. There's so much, you know, so many other things that go about it. So I try to even get excited when I get an audition, and I'm like, this is my time to play. This is my time to have fun. Mm-hmm. And same with those workshops. And, you know, I try to put people on tape as much as I can, because those are all opportunities to do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating seeing other people read. I was a reader like ages ago for this show called Numbers, and saw so many people come in and audition. And then from pre-reads to producers and levels of preparation, like why people get, it's so interesting to see how the machine works. And like, you start to realize, wow, sometimes it's just never like, I'm not actually auditioning for this role. They just want to see what I would do with it because they already know they're going to like offer it to so-and-so, but they got to bring people in. And then other times you're in that position, and it's just so fascinating. Like you're saying, like helping people put things on tape. It's like,
Yeah.
you discover so much about how other people would approach it too, that like you didn't even think about it, and like how much that informs maybe some other decision you'll make down the line. And
yeah, one, it's such a good analogy for life. I feel like with doing anything creative, anything that's not kind of ABC, you get to D, you know, it's like, and Maya, I know that you do a lot of work in terms of mindfulness and meditation and maybe connecting to something bigger. Do you think that that's helped kind of navigate the industry when there's, as we said on this, like there is a lot of rejection in it, and you know?
Absolutely, immensely. I've been practicing gratitude now for 9 years every day for up to half an hour a day. And I just know that through having some form of practice, right? And I've also done TM, which is transcendental meditation, since now also about 10 years. And I try to do that every day, and just finding that routine and finding something that works for you. I'm not saying those are the answers, but there are so many ways to keep your mind full and whole and present and in a place of positivity versus, you know, focusing on the rejection, because you as an actor get rejected about 100 times a year, if not more, you know? And so just learning to just cope with that and view every rejection as like the next way forward. You know, how can we transform anything that seems negative into something that's just positive and a blessing, you know?
Yeah, that's just so relevant to a lot of people, especially right now, you know, as just a lot of navigating through unknowns happening. The episode is
in the casting process, there are so many times where an actor can make a wonderful impression, but they might never hear it back. So like, always keeping that in mind too. Just because you don't hear anything does not mean it wasn't great and that it didn't affect people. But if you responded back to every single tape, that's just an unreasonable ideal.
Yeah, totally. It's so worth remembering. And just like everything, every closed door is just putting you on the right path, isn't it? It's just having those moments of meditation is nice to go, okay, let's just remember all this, because it's hard in the moment when you get that no. It's hard to, like, great. Yeah, exactly. So the episode's finished. I'm gonna invite a couple people in. The waiting room filled up so quickly. But just quickly, Maya, I wanted to just ask you about your movies. One, I think, is already out, Senior Moment.
Yes, Senior Moment. It's super cute and very endearing, with Christopher Lloyd and William Shatner. Check it out. And Jean Smart, who's incredible and amazing. And then the other one is called Reboot Camp. That's also with a bunch of awesome people with cameos from like Ja Rule and like just really interesting people. So I would check it out. I would check it out.
Oh my gosh, you did such a good job of not spoiling either of those movies. I feel like it's a really hard to go, this bit is really great, and like, you know, just do a million spoilers like someone else I know, but you didn't. Oh, this is Maggie.
Yeah, this is Maggie. She actually practices accidental meditation.
She sleeps all day.
Yeah, she sleeps all day.
So sweet. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Right. I'm going to invite a couple people in.
Emily.
Emily is coming.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Hi. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I got in with you guys.
Emily, do you have your Blue Skies hoodie on? Look at
Yes.
Merch, she's got the merch.
I'm the one that you posted the video on your Instagram.
I know. I saw your name and I was like, well, it has to be Emily.
Thank you so much for that. It's so soft. It's so beautiful. Oh my God.
I'm so glad you love it. Do you have a question, Emily?
Yes. I wanted to ask both Maya and Samantha, what was the hardest stunt you guys like ever filmed on like Agents of Shield?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go for, I mean, you have way more to think on, so I'll one of them was on a plane. I remember very specifically, it was with Adriana, and it was on a plane, and I actually had to do my own stunts. I can't remember why exactly, but so I had to, it was just, I just remember just, and it's so helpful if you're a dancer, right? Because it really is a choreography. And I just remember it being so intense, but amazing. And I have so much empathy for stunt people. Just the pain you feel the next day was something I had never experienced, just in your neck and everything. And so, yeah, that would probably be that.
Yeah, I'm a dancer, so I can understand
Oh.
that.
Yeah,
it's feel that tenfold.
Yeah.
For me, I guess instead of going the pain route, because that's whatever, I think on a technical side, from this episode that we just watched, that table, jumping off of the table into the head smash move, I think was probably the trickiest, because I'd never done that move before. So the fight coordinator showed it to us and was like, all right, practice. And then, you practice running from so far, but then you get on the actual set, and the table is beside the couch. And so you have from the couch to the table, which is one step. And just from the athletic standpoint, it was pressure because everyone's watching and expecting you to do it. And then just technically trying to stay focused. And, if I didn't do it well enough, not beat myself up and cry.
It looks perfect. You like perfectly laid out, and then like bam.
It was just
Yeah.
mad that that's real. Like
As long it was one of like 50, and as long as that one was perfectly laid out, then whew, did
but
my
that's
job.
something to remember too, of like you just have to get it right that one time, but you also as a viewer remember that there's a bunch of times that you didn't get it exactly perfect, and there's so many ways, there's you could have gone, okay, I'm just going to keep going as you did, or you can go, right, I'm embarrassed, I'm letting like my fears win now, I can't do this, everybody's watching me, everyone's it's a real strength of mind as well as body.
It is, because no matter how cool you might look when you're doing the thing, you still have human emotions. And so if I'm not getting it right, it'll make me want to just cry for myself. And I'm like, no, you're a professional, Sam. You're on set. Don't cry. That's typical.
One quick thing, sorry, before you go to Becca. Lil, please wish Luke and Chloe happy birthday from all of us, because we know that Chloe's birthday is today and Luke's was yesterday. So
Yes.
thank you.
I will. Yeah, we've spoken to both of them, and I will do that. Yeah, loads of famous people's birthdays right now.
Mhm.
Jennifer Garner's birthday was the other day.
Mhm.
I'm really manifesting, like I'm transcendental meditating to be Jennifer Garner's best friend. So yeah.
Oh, I
mentioned
wish
that.
that upon you. She's incredible. You already have her vibe. You
Stop
already
it right now.
You do.
Stop
You
it
do
right
have her
now.
vibe.
You totally do. Totally, yeah, you're both each other's spirit animals.
Oh my gosh, Myra, I feel like I need you because that's you saying that.
Well, maybe we can be best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen's probably watching. She gets it. Becca, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. My question's for Maya. What was it like working with Brett?
Oh,
Great
Brett is
question.
amazing. I love Brett. He is such a great person. And it's funny because on set, we were actually super professional, and he was so professional. And at times I was like, oh, does he like me? Does he not? Like, because he was just very to himself and very focused. But then I got to become friends with him outside of set. And he's just such a fun, loving, incredible human. So, that too, like noticing just that people are at work on set. So maybe they're not quite themselves as well. They're just trying to, either be in character or want to really focus on the job at hand. So you hear horror stories on set, but I never fully trust that because I'm like, well, you know, they want to just do a great job. But Brett is all around, just all-star, amazing guy.
Yeah.
Even when he was choking me in episodes, he was still very nice about it.
It's just so funny the stuff that you do in as a day job, you know, of like Maya with her eyes like just pinned open, and then Samantha just like, no, when he was choking me, it was a lovely guy.
Yeah,
It's
very
just
civil,
so
very polite.
so fun. Thank you for your questions, Emily and Becca. They were brilliant. And that's
Thank you
it.
so much.
Done.
Thank you.
Thank you to Maya and Samantha. You guys have been so generous with your wisdom, and I find you both extremely inspiring, and I'm just so grateful that you guys were here. Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you.
Had a blast. Oh my gosh.
Maggie.
No, she's really just here for the praise.
Yeah.
She's really working the camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit the rest of the waiting room, which is 90. It says 96, but how's that possible? Because it's 100. I don't know. Anyway, high 90s of people coming in. We'll wait for a couple minutes and then I'll end it. But and if we didn't get to your question because Zach gets distracted.
I get distracted.
I'm going to be answering some of them in the outro to the podcast of this, which will be out on Tuesday. So if your question didn't get asked today from YouTube, check out the podcast on Tuesday, Live with Lil. Okay, I'm going to invite everybody in. Thank you so much again. This bit gets a bit crazy, so, you know.
I got in, Landon.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
You had a good week?
Happy birthday.
Hi, Samantha. Wonderful week.
Happy birthday. The Chloe.
Goodbye, everyone.
And Luke.
Nice. Spend some time outside. Watch the viewers. I look forward to seeing Will and Zach and
Chloe.
Bye.
Bye.